Hi, I wanted to share lessons that I've learned from embracing my natural hair, okay? Life lessons. So these are kind of gonna go in and out of hair, but it's mostly about life, okay? So lesson number one is that is to work in sections, work bit by bit. So whenever I wash my hair, I make sure to do like four sections, sometimes six, and that allows me not to get overwhelmed. So when I'm detangling my hair, I work in sections. I take bit by bit and I work on my hair in that way because otherwise it gets too stressful, too overwhelming, and I can apply that in life because I'm an all or nothing kind of person, so I want to do everything or nothing. But I've learned to do a little bit every day. So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it's working on my inner healing stuff, I work on that every day. A little bit every day. It doesn't have to be all of it. I don't have to read all the self-help books all at once. I just need to show up and do a little bit every day. And that way I don't get overwhelmed. Because I notice that when I do too much, then the next day I want to do nothing. And it's the same with weight loss for me. And I struggle with an eating disorder. So, I've learned to do bit by bit and to kind of, live just one meal at a time and not to get overwhelmed, and which stops me from binge eating and helps me to aim and live in a healthy weight, work towards a healthy weight. Number two is put in the work. Okay, so some of us want results without doing the work. Do the work, put in the work, and leave the rest of it to a higher power. And this can be for anything, literally anything. And I remember when I went natural, I had a bald patch right here from years and years of putting chemicals in my hair, from years and years of using heat all the time without a heat protector on my hair. I had like literally my hair was so damaged and so unhealthy, and I put in the work. I showed up for my hair. Literally, I was making all sorts of hair conditioner at home, and I put in the work, and now years later I can see the result. But I left it to God as well. I left it to a higher power, which leads me to number three. Remember that growth happens. You might not see it happening, and it might not come the way that you want it to come, but it comes. If you're showing up, you're doing the work, you're leaving the rest of it to a higher power, it will come. And it does come. And I remember when when my hair started to kind of feel, longer and healthier and fuller, and me just being like, how did that happen? And I really surprised myself. So I want to remind you that growth happens. And so many people want to say so many things about, black women's hair, that it doesn't grow. It might not grow the way you imagine growth to be, but it does. And it is, when you put in the work, it grows and it is beautiful. And we can apply that for anything, literally education, our weight, our health, our goals, whatever it is that we're doing. Put in the work, leave the rest of it to God, and remember that growth happens. So that was number three. Number four is that water is life. Okay, like water is everything. Like for my hair, like my hair loves water. Water is the moisturizer, and the oil just locks in the moisture. And it's the same with your health. Without water, you are not healthy. You could drink anything else that you want to drink, but without drinking water, your body struggles and your body suffers. And one of the things that I learned actually when I was pregnant, one of the ways that I would increase my energy is by drinking more water. And the more water I drank, the more energy I had. And water is everything. I love a good shower. I love a bath. Literally, like our body is like, is it 80% water? Something like that, or between 60 and 80% water. Like we need water. And so does your hair. So water is life. And then number 5 is everyone cannot like the same thing, and that's okay. That is okay. I do not need to convince people, patriarchy and whiteness, to like my hair. Okay, I just need to like my hair, and mostly because it's on my head, and also, you know, because I believe that a higher power doesn't make a mistake. And I think one of the problems and struggles that I had for a long time was the fact that I had internalized patriarchy and internalized racism, that I really struggled to like my hair. And especially if I was getting comments, if you haven't watched the videos about the in-laws, oh, they commented on my hair all the time. And you know, and it made me really sad, and it made me really struggle to embrace my hair. And they don't have to like it for me to like it, and that is okay. And it's the same with whatever you're doing, right? You, whatever line of work you choose to do, however many kids you choose to have, whatever, whoever you choose to marry, people don't have to like that, as long as you like it, and that is okay. And then number 6 is actually one of my favorite lessons that I've learned, and that is that self-love is not an emotion for me. And self-love just means, for me, showing up, doing the work, even when I don't feel like it, sometimes begrudgingly. Um, but I show up, because if I sit and wait for the day that I'm gonna feel like I love myself enough to do the work, I'll never do it. If I sit and wait for the day that I'm gonna feel like, I love my hair, let me work on my hair, sometimes that doesn't come. But when I work on my hair, actually self-love, then I get the feelings of self-love. And when I work on my inner life, on my inner child, and do that healing work, I get the emotions of loving myself. When I work on my spirituality, when I work on my physical health, whatever it is that I'm working on, when I show up in self-love without feeling the emotions of self-love, that leads me to feel the self-love. And then the next one is, this is number 7, being gentle is a virtue, not virtual, virtue. And I used to be really like aggressive with my hair and with myself. I didn't have a lot of self-compassion, and like, this is quite sorry. And I've really learned over the last few years, over the last 10 years or so, it's taken me a long time, but especially the last 4 years, to really show up for myself in a gentle way. So when I detangle my hair, I go in gently. It doesn't mean that I'm not firm, right? I think oftentimes we confuse weakness for gentleness. Gentleness is not weakness. So I can detangle my hair gently but firmly. And it's the same as when I'm doing the work, that work of healing. I can show up for myself gently, and sometimes I need to be firm with myself. When I'm parenting, I can be, oh God, this is making me emotional. I can be firm with my toddler and with my 6-year-old and my 2 toddler. Wait, is 4-year-old a toddler? I don't know. But and with my 4-year-old and then my toddler, I can be firm with them while being gentle. And also I can be gentle when I'm setting boundaries, because I used to confuse assertiveness with aggressiveness. I can be gentle while being assertive. I don't have to be mean, I don't have to be horrible, but I can set my boundary and I can let somebody know, hey, thus far thou shalt come and no further, while being kind. And I think it's so important. But gentleness is a virtue, like it should be up there. And then number 8 is that protecting yourself is necessary. So if you're a black girl watching this, I don't need to teach you about protective hairstyles. And yeah, like I don't need to teach you that. But for anybody else watching this and doesn't know what I'm talking about, we braid our hair and we twist our hair or whatever, we put it in a protective hairstyle to protect it from like harsh weather conditions, or if you're going on holidays and you're going to be swimming a lot, we would braid our hair to protect ourselves, our hair. And I've learned that I need to protect myself from certain people, and I need to protect myself from certain environments. And it took me a long time. I thought I could fix people, right? I'm a fixer, I'm a people pleaser naturally, you know, because of the trauma that I went through. And walking away from people because I have abandonment issues, deep wounds, was so hard for me to, it was so hard for me to walk away. But learning to walk away, oh, it hurts, right? Walking away hurts, but the pain is different from the pain of reliving the same trauma daily. And when you're getting your hair braided, sometimes that feels painful, but sometimes it can be because you don't have to brush your hair every day. The pain is different, so you feel that pain of like getting the braids in, but for a few weeks you're able to like not worry about your hair, you know, and it's just great. So protect yourself just like you protect your hair. Protect yourself. And then I'm nearly finished, I promise. Number 9 is use the right tools. So for as long as I can remember, I remember combing my hair with like the tiniest toothed combs ever when I was a little girl. And I don't know why we thought that that was a good idea. Like, it's an afro. Thank God, whoever invented an afro comb, like, thank you. So use the right tools. And when I started to use a white toothed comb, you know, like an afro comb, or just, you know, other combs that I have, like my hair started to thrive, and it didn't break as much. I didn't feel as much pain because I had the right tools, and then using the right products. I didn't have the same pain because I had the right products, and my hair was thriving, started to thrive, and it felt softer. And I remember one time my aunt saying, why did God hate us so much? Why did he give us this ugly, dry, brittle hair? And like, I was, I think I was about 12, 13, and that stuck with me. And I never verbalized it, but I carried with me. And oftentimes I felt like, why would God do this to us? And then I discovered water. The water is the moisturizer for black hair. I discovered the right tools. I discovered the right products. And now I don't endorse any particular brand because I think our hair is so versatile, so different. And I've done some videos about hair, and you can see what I use at a certain time, but I'm not committed. Like, I'm committed in this moment if it's working, because my hair can change next year, and I can, you know. But when I discovered, you know, not to use shampoos that had parabens and silicons and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, when I discovered that, I was like, it revolutionized my hair. And it's the same thing with my mental health. I walked around trying to be a normal girl when I'm neurodivergent. Like, and I've suffered major loss. I have severe CPTSD, like, and I was walking around like trying to be this normal girl in this normal world, and I really struggled. But when I embraced my neurodivergence and I embraced the wounds that I have, like, I accepted them and I grieved the losses, like my life's so much better. My mental health is so much better, and it's the same with my physical health. With the eating disorder that I struggle with, when I stopped trying, like how am I gonna try to starve myself when I struggle with food? Like it's really weird, because then that triggers you to eat more. But going to a 12-step program, and handing it over to a higher power, and having a food plan, and having a sponsor, and having all these things, all these tools are helping my day-to-day life, and my hair, my body, my mental health has just improved and grown, and I'm just so grateful. So use the right products is number 9. And then the last one, last but not least, is that every day is different. Let me tell you, if you do not have an afro today, right? Today my hair is like detangled. It's feeling like, it's given like, come tomorrow. Lord knows. Lord knows. Sometimes I just think to myself, what in the world? Like, you go to bed, you've especially when I do like twist outs. Oh, if you don't know what that is, look it up. So when I do a twist out, Jesus. Especially when you do it on wet hair, right? So you do a twist out on like wet or damp hair, and I'm telling you, the next day you could be thinking, oh, my hair's going to be all nice and curly and whatever, and it will disappoint you. And then other days you do absolutely nothing the night before, and you wake up and your hair's like given, and you're just like, what? So it's the same with real life, right? I'll give you an example. This week, like today, I was out and about. I went to see my 4-year-old in his nativity play. He was a train. How was he a train? Like, anyway, and so I went to see that, and then we got on a train because we were in those train vibes, and we went to Whitehead and went to a train museum, and then this guy in this cafe started playing music. It was beautiful, such a beautiful day. 2 days ago, I was in A&E. I was in accident and emergency with my 6-year-old from 8:20 till 6 p.m., 8:20 a.m. till 6 p.m. with my 6-year-old and my 1-year-old. And I'm telling you, on that day, I just remember thinking, oh, why is this my life? And then I reminded myself that tomorrow is going to be different. And the next day is going to be different, because every day comes with its challenges. Every day comes with its excitements. And every day comes with its challenges. But my favorite thing is, because I love Jesus. I'm a Jesus girl. So every day comes with its own mercies, with its own, God gives us everything that we need for each day. And when I was in the A&E in the hospital all day, and I remember around 2 o'clock, because I hadn't eaten and I was starving, and my trigger foods was trying to call to me. I remember reaching for my tools. I reached out to my sponsor, reached out to people from my 12-step group, and I prayed, and God reminded me that I've given you everything you need for today. And I've given you everything you need for every day. And you just need to take it one day at a time. And that's what I do with my hair. Literally one day at a time. That's what I do with my mental health. One day at a time. That's what I do with my body. One day at a time. And every day will bring its joys, and every day will bring its challenges. But I have been fully equipped to deal with those things. And for that, I am so grateful. And I don't have to do it alone. I have a higher power to reach to, and I have a community, a small community, because I've been like destroying all my communities, but not destroying, just walking away, because I realized they were not good for me. But I have, people, very few, but I know that they're going to come through for me, and they're not going to be condescending. They're not going to put me down. They're not going to harass me or abuse me, and they're going to support me. And for that, I'm grateful. So hope that was helpful.